Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And if you're here for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to like, you got to like. Don't be leaving me no nasty ass messages, okay? You got to subscribe. Now, listen, I want you all to look at that person right there. See where I'm pointing? Look at that person. Let me tell y'all something. If we did a TV show together,
Lord have mercy.
they would have our asses locked up before the show was even over. Our mouths are so filthy, but we're going to try to keep it kind of clean for you today. All right. Now listen, Miss Roz Ryan. How you doing, Roz?
I'm fine, baby, but who mouth is filthy? Yours?
No, yours and my child. I'm not leaving myself out of the equation. And we forgot to say also Terry Burrell. Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
We'll bring her in
I don't know why you didn't bring her in now.
I know. It would have been so much fun, but I just wanted to concentrate on you. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman has had an incredible career. And for all of you young people watching, wanting to know how to get started, the discipline you should have, you would want to listen to this show because she has done everything and she's a master at all of it. I mean, the consummate artist. And she don't take no shit. Like,
damn right.
I don't take no shit. Now, Ross, tell me this.
Yes, baby.
There are things that I really don't know about you. So how in the hell did you get started? I mean, was it your parents who pushed you into it?
I started singing in a nightclub.
In the nightclub?
At 16 in Detroit.
Girl, now you know that was illegal.
No, it wasn't really illegal. Well, it was illegal, but it was okay because my manager became my guardian. So I was going from the dressing room to the stage to the dressing room, and that lasted for about a year. I couldn't hang out in the bar.
But weren't you still going to school?
Yes. As a matter of fact, on my prom night, I didn't go to prom. I was on stage. I was singing at 20 grand.
Did your mother know that?
Yes, I had permission.
What?
My dad used to drive, before I got a license, my dad used to drive me from club to club.
See, I'm learning stuff. I never knew this. See, my mother would have had a hissy fit. Stay in school, stay in school. I think that's fabulous.
Well, my mom said as long as I finished with a B average, and I did.
Okay, but I think because of this early exposure to nightclubs and the ability to communicate with an audience, because really that is what singing in a nightclub is all about. It's that communication, getting those stories told, getting what you have to say so that audience can reach and accept what you're trying to give to them. And I think this is why you are like you are in a club, in your club act, because you really are wonderful. You're very at ease. It's like talking to you like you're in our living room. And this is how I like to come across. So, okay, so after high school, then what happened? Did you continue on in nightclubs?
Yep. When I graduated, my mom had a college fund. I told her to spend it, keep it, do what she wanted to do with it. I was making more money than her.
Oh, wow.
I had one job working at a college in the cafeteria for 2 days. And I decided that definitely wasn't me.
Did they fire your ass?
No, I quit. I just didn't go back the third day.
Because the 2 straight jobs I had, they fired me. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there. They fired me.
I didn't give them a chance. Because my mom and dad both work with the Board of Education, so they were easy to get us jobs. And they got me a little job in the cafeteria, baby, after 2 days.
So listen, how did the acting come into play?
I was doing Dreamgirls. And I went to an audition for JoJo Dance of Your Life, is called. And Reuben Cannon was there. He was the casting director. He said, "You're too young for this, but I'm gonna find something for you." And he got Carmen McRae did that role, but she was much older. Okay. But the Broadway, when my first acting was in Dreamgirls, because in Ain't Misbehaving, there was no talking, there was just singing. So I had to do scenes in Dreamgirls.
Wait a minute, are you talking about the Dreamgirls that I saw?
Dreamgirls on Broadway. I took over.
That was the first time you were acting?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. That was the first time.
So wait a minute. So Amen, everybody, she did Amen, that big, huge.
Amen was after Dreamgirls. That was after.
Oh my God.
Because I was doing Dreamgirls when I auditioned for JoJo Dancer, and then I moved to Florida, and I was doing a show in Florida. I was doing the club in the lobby and doing Cole Porter Request the Pleasure in the theater. And Ruben called and he said, I got something for you. Can you come back? So I flew back to New York and it was for Amen. And I auditioned for Amen. And then he said, I need you to come back one more time. Ed Weinberger's going to come in. Okay. So I went back and I went in front of Ed Weinberger and he said, okay. And then they said, we want you to fly out to New York, to LA to meet Brandon Tartikoff at NBC. And I'm like, okay. Now, first I said I wouldn't go. And because I just got married. So I said, no. Oh. And then they called me and said, who is this woman saying no? Who is she?
Girl,
who is this woman? So I finally agreed to go. And when I got out there, it was me and Ruth Brown were up for the role of Amelia Had a Break.
Girl, you are telling me so much crap I didn't know. Ruth Brown was also up for that role?
Mother Ruth.
Oh, my God, Miss Mother Ruth.
I went into the room with Barbara Montgomery. And Barbara said on the way in the room, she said, follow my lead. And I said, okay. Because I had called my mother and said, Ma, they're trying to give me a TV show. I'm not an actress. I'm a singer. And she said, maybe they see something that you don't know. So I went in the room with Barbara and she said, follow my lead. And when we got in the room, we started this exchange. And in the middle of the exchange, Ed Weinberger looked at us and he said, how old are you? And I think I was 32.
Okay.
And he asked Barbara, he said, I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but you're older than her, right? And Barbara said, yeah, because the women were not sisters at first. They were just two church ladies. But after the exchange me and Barbara had, he made us sisters. And then I didn't know for sure. George Faison was also there for the choir director.
Wow.
So I didn't know for sure. I went back to my room and the next morning, Ruth called me at 7:30 and said, they just called me and told me I could go home, honey. So congratulations.
Wait a minute. That's how you heard you got it. It was from her.
It was from
telling
Ruth.
you that. And then it was confirmed later.
Ruth told me before they even called
me. Unbelievable. So I would probably say that just you doing Dreamgirls on Broadway helped because that was your first acting role. So let's get back to that for a minute, girl. You just can't throw that because I had no idea that was your first acting thing. So just let me get this thing clear. Were you nervous? I mean, are you telling me that you had never done any acting before? Before that? Never?
No, none. The only acting I did before that was on the stage in a nightclub selling songs and talking, the banter in between.
Wow.
But I wasn't nervous. I was game. It was like, okay, I'll try it. I knew I could sing, so I wasn't worried about the other part. And I should have been because when the review came out that I thought, my agent said, it's not bad, but let me see how you feel about it. And the reviewer said, she's a better actress than she is a singer.
Okay.
I was elated.
Yes.
I thought it was the most wonderful review of my first acting job.
Yeah, I mean, that's high kudos, baby, because
that's big kudos.
I'm trying to remember what was my first. I think it was the Lena Horne piece at the Benedum in Pittsburgh. There were 3 choreographers, and Lynn Taylor Corbett had put a piece together, the Lena Horne piece, different from the one that I created. But I think that was my first. Yeah, I remember, though, trying to approach it earlier on. Mm-hmm. And it just felt like Vivian went to the store to get a... Girl, I was like, listen, here's how I feel about this. I don't know if you even thought about this, but I was so used to piano and voice during the classical days. Yeah. And then a trio.
Yeah.
Piano, bass, and drums. Mm-hmm. Maybe they took away that damn piano, bass, and drums, and it's like, oh God, what do I do? And Chuck, what was Chuck's? I can't think of Chuck's last name. Director, actor. He used to say, if you could just treat acting like you do your songs,
like you do the music.
Songs.
Exactly.
It took me a minute to get it, but once I got it, it was great. That is absolutely amazing. Now listen, what was maybe a really funny thing, you don't have to call any names or anything, that happened while you were doing Amen? Because I know there had to be lots of shit going up in there.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
This is one of my best stories is Sherman, who I call Germ, affectionately. I was living in Florida. I was married to that second one. I forget his name. But I was going home and I said, does anybody want anything? And Sherman said, bring me an alligator. So I went to the pet store and I got a pet Cayman alligator, put it in a cat box, got on the plane, and the woman said, "How old is your kitten?" And I said, "It's not a cat." She said, "What is it?" I said, "A gerbil." I knew if I said an alligator, it was going to throw me off the damn plane.
Hell yeah.
So I told a little kind of story. But anyway, so I get back and he takes this alligator. I give him the alligator and he's screaming. He's laughing. He said, "I wasn't serious." He built a complete pond in his backyard for this alligator and named it Theodore.
Oh my God.
And then when it got to be 6 feet, he donated it to the zoo.
So it he kept it till it got 6 feet.
He kept it till it was 6 feet, and then he donated it to the zoo. There's a funny thing too. He used to call me Miss Makeup.
Oh, because you like to wear makeup?
I was dolled, high heels. Manel Carter told me,
hell yeah.
You ain't gonna wear them high heels every day. And I came in every day with my pumps.
But you know what? I used to do the same thing. I used to love to beat and heels. The whole thing looked like we stepped off the cover of Vogue. I mean, that was the thing.
That was the thing on Broadway. That was Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett said, "You're a dream girl in here and in the streets."
Yeah, you know, the thing is going back and forth like this. Or is your laptop on your lap?
Well, it is now.
Okay, because it's like it was going like really
okay. I'm sitting still. Damn it.
Okay, sit still, damn it. Just say, I'm gonna keep this part in. You see?
What?
She done everything, and then she can't. Well, in fact, why was that thing going like that? What the hell were you doing?
I was holding it in one hand. Okay, let me show you. I had it like this, and it was rocking.
Show the people that's watching you do this.
People look at this. Rocking. I'm rocking.
Yeah, well, you stop rocking that thing. Put that thing down.
It ain't rocking.
All right, there you go. So, okay. So, and he kept that thing until it got 6 feet.
6 feet, and he donated it to the zoo.
That is amazing. Now, how did you get along with Barbara? Was everything good? Because what we got as an audience, it was like such a camaraderie between the two of you. It was great.
We were really like sisters. Barbara still to this day tries to tell me what to do.
Oh, well, you know that's Barbara.
This very day, that's big sister. We were like sisters. She treated me like her little sister.
Amazing.
And we had this exchange that we came up with the thank you, sister. No, thank you, sister. No, thank you, sister. We did that one day, and Ed Weinberger came out the room and he said, "Keep it."
That is so funny. But now listen, let me ask you this. You're disciplined because you're extremely disciplined like I am. So is it somebody told you, look, you go home, you do your homework, you come and you be consistent. Did somebody have to tell you that, or it was innate? It was in you to know to do that?
No, it was pretty much in me when I got to Broadway, because in Detroit, we didn't have understudies and we didn't work the way that they work in New York. We worked 2 shows a day, 5 days a week, one show on the weekend. No, one show Monday and Tuesday. On the weekends, 2 shows. And there was no understudy. So you just had to make sure you got some rest, even though at that period I was a little wild.
Yes.
And when you're young, you can do that.
Yes.
But as you mature, you realize that you require a lot more discipline.
Yes.
Because when I got to New York, I'm like, okay, you got to go home and go to bed, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was always, I think, disciplined only because my background was classical music. So to hear Harold Perrineau, I mean, his real name is Harold Williams. Sorry, Harold. But
I love his last name. Isn't it?
He used to say, "Vivian, why you got to be so serious? Why you got to be so tiss?" But I think it just carried over from classical music. But having said that, though, I know you've been in shows where you wanted to choke some of your cast members because they were not taking it seriously enough. Meaning, they think that after they finish their rehearsal from 10 to 6, the day is over, and then after that, that time is their time. Mm-hmm. Not when you're in a rehearsal and you learn in a show. So I know that you've had some issues with some cast members that kind of just didn't do the homework and came in the next day ill prepared, and the director had to go back and go over stuff.
Oh yeah, but not in Dreamgirls.
Oh,
everything after that, you walk in and you look at the call board and you see people taking off for a hangnail. You know, got my fingernail broke, so I'm gonna take off. Or kids taking off, and then you go out between shows and you see them walking down the street at the street fair.
And they said they called in sick.
They called in sick.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. And I've told a lot of them, I said, boy, Michael Bennett would have fired you 3 days ago.
You know, it's so funny that you said it, because Okay. I teach, right? And I tell my students, when you're that young, I never did, and I'm sure you didn't either, but when you're that young and somebody gives you constructive criticism, well, let me just use my students. I think there's only been 2 out of the 6 years that I've been teaching that they didn't start crying. And I'm like, okay, I just gave them constructive criticism, and all of a sudden they wiping their eyes. I said, okay, go into the powder room and get yourself together. So they go into the powder room, come out. I said, sit down. I said, you will never cry again. I said, if your skin is that thin that you can't take constructive criticism, I said, baby, a director would fire you. They don't have time to put up with you crying every time they get. I said, as long as you're in this business, you will get notes. As long as you're in the business, that's what it is. That's the way it works. So they were only allowed to cry one time, and they never cried again. I said, let me be the one to prepare you, because you cannot take that into the professional world. And they never did.
No, because the directors will hire somebody less talented than you.
Hey.
More mature, but less talented. They don't care about it. You cannot go in with that kind of attitude, because it is constant criticism, constant rejection. Somebody asked me, what do you do in auditions? I said, I go in and I picture everybody in their underwear. 6 months down the line on Prozac telling me all their problems. And that's exactly what happens. A lot of times after you get in a show, you find out, oh, that was the girl that gets the coffee. And that was are you kidding me? You fill this room trying to intimidate me with what? And you find out later.
I don't know how you are. I don't know how much you audition. I don't audition too much anymore. But my whole thought process was, in my mind, of course, I would never go in with this kind of cockiness. But my whole thought process is, y'all don't know how lucky you are. What you getting ready to witness.
You're damn right.
And whether you don't
know what you want.
That's right. And whether you get, and I tell everybody, all these young people, they ask me questions. It all boils down to type. Are you too thin? Are you too big? Are you too tall? It's type. But the thing is, a lot of the times, what keeps you from getting nervous is how in tune you are with that material you're about to deliver. See,
right.
And I'm sure you're the same way. Baby, I am in performance mode all the time. Anytime somebody says sing, I'm there. Are you aware, because I'm actually going to do a video on this subject. Okay. Are you aware that a lot of young people are staring when they sing? They pick a spot right in front, and they deliver their whole song. My students aren't allowed to do that. I break them from it. They have a few weeks to get over it, and they usually end up getting the shows.
That's a lack of confidence, though. That's a lack of confidence.
Where did that come? No, wait a minute. I specifically asked my students, especially in the second year, where are y'all getting this from? Who told you to steer? Where's that coming from? They said teachers in high school.
Well, it's one of the reasons people ask me where did I study music? I studied music at the US of D, which is the University of the Streets of Detroit. That's where I studied.
I have seen this so many times with young people. There's a place for us. Somewhere a place for us. They will do the whole
That's boring. That's boring.
But the teachers have told them to do it. And there are even young people giving workshops. And my students are not allowed to do it. I said, that's not performing.
No,
you have to give the audience something.
That's not feeling anything.
And also they will tell them, don't use your arms. What? I mean, yes, you can overuse your arms where it takes focus, but not to ever use your arms and you standing there like this and staring.
No,
you look great.
You look crazy, and you also look like you're not really interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, but you know what? It's ingrained in them, though, Roz. It's ingrained.
To the producers, we were up with the Marvin Krauses and the Manny Eisenbergs and the Schuberts. The producers now, except for the Weislers and the Nederlanders, they're 12.
I know.
So when the kids come in and do that 12-year-old stuff, it's like it's okay with them. I was doing a cartoon and I walked in the studio and the guy that was the producer was maybe 25. And he said, Jamie Thompson told me about you and he told me to let you do your thing, but I think I have a few pointers. And I said, you have a few what? what you got? And he said, well, I said, listen, do me a favor, baby. Let me do what I do. And then you come in with your pointers. 25. When I got finished, he said, damn.
Yeah, what he gonna tell you?
I said, okay, bye, sweetie.
And he's 25. This is like when I went in and did Marie Christine with Audra at the Vivian.
I remember that.
And I went late because I was doing something at Rainbow and Stars. And so I got to the rehearsal late. And so I always will respect the director and say, I said to Graciela, so Graciela, how do you see this role? What do you want to tell me? And she said, Vivian, you got great instincts. Let me see what you do on your own. And most directors, when they're dealing with actors, performers like we are, they just sit back. Because a lot of the times we may bring stuff to the table that they
never thought about.
And I'm going to tell you something else. Steven Spielberg, he was on, I think it was Phil Donahue, and the whole hour was on Steven. And the question was, how do you get the best out of your actors? How do you get great performances out of your actors? And he said, it's a collaboration. Yeah. He said, because I'm dealing with seasoned actors.
Yes.
He said, and they're out there, they're doing it. He said, so I see what they bring to the table, and then we talk about it. He said, but there is no way when you're dealing with seasoned actors that you can arrive at a great performance by telling them everything
what to do. No. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work like that.
And I think this is one of the reasons why I tell my students, when you go into audition, you don't know. You can't pick up the phone. Where's the phone? Excuse me, Mr. Director, but how exactly should I plan for this song and this scene? How do you see me doing? You don't have that luxury of doing that. So no. What do? You look at them two sides, and you may not even see the script. You have to base what you're going to do off of what's in that script that you're looking at, those two pieces of paper, the two sides, and you have to make a decision. You can't go in there thinking, oh, God, yes. Does the director want this? You don't know what the director wants.
No, you can't say yes.
You have to go in there having made up your mind how you're going to sing that song, or if it's a musical, and how you're going to deliver those sides. And you must be convincing, even if it's opposite of what the director will ultimately ask you to do.
Yeah.
But
because you never know. You never know. You don't know, and you can't pre-guess what they're going to say.
Can't pre-guess, baby.
You can't do it. So pre-guess. You have to go in with confidence, do your work, and house.
What's going on? Somebody call. I know that phone wasn't ringing during this thing. Oh, yes, hell no.
But you know what, girl? I just threw it on the phone. It's in the garbage.
But anyway, Roz, what would you say? What would you tell somebody that's in this business that takes it so lightly and a lot of people coming in this business for what they think they can make.
Oh yeah.
They don't love it.
I get absolutely offended when people say, would you introduce me to your agent? Because I want to try acting. I get absolutely offended.
I do too.
And I tell them in the nicest way that I possibly can, what's happening in my life, even if you met my agent, doesn't mean it's going to happen in yours.
That's right.
This is my life. And this is me. This is our collaboration, me and my agent working together. So if you were working with him, it would be a whole different dynamic. First of all, you're not in this business. You just told me you want to try to do something that is my life.
But did you ever once think how insulting that they think this is something that happens like this?
Yes, doing Dreamgirls. Now, you know how strenuous and difficult Dreamgirls was. Doing Dreamgirls, I come out of a matinee and this woman walked up to me and said, what do you do for your day job?
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say? You didn't slap her, did you?
No. I said, baby, you have no clue. We do 8 shows a week. I live in this building.
Yep.
So what you just saw, 2 hours worth of work, that's all day long. That's rehearsals, that's put-ins, that's extra, what they call tighten up. That's all kind of stuff. And then that particular show, are you kidding me? You think I'm going to pour my guts out like that and go somewhere in the office somewhere?
But so many people think that this is not a job, and I don't look at it as a job. It's because
Well, because
it's a passion.
it's a
something
passion.
that I look forward.
It's
And
I
you know,
love.
we have been fortunate. We need to speak on this for a hot second. You and I, have been very fortunate that this is how we've made our living.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. I just finished 20 years of Chicago the musical.
Yep. You sure
20
did. You were fabulous in
years. That was
it.
a government job, baby. 20 years of going 12 times on Broadway and 9 tours.
Wow.
3 world tours. 20 years. And when I was stopped in Taiwan in 2018, and I said, I think this is enough. I think I want to live a little more because I was working and not living. Now I want to live and work a little bit. But it was 20 years. Nobody, that's a very rare thing.
That is very rare.
That's very rare to be in a show for 20 years. And I'm the longest running principal on Broadway in Chicago.
But you were so fabulous in that role. And
why
not keep calling you? They should have kept calling you. You know, I mean, you were just fabulous in the role.
You
and
call me because I did my job.
Yep.
A few.
And I've seen 2 other people play that role, and I'm telling you, you nail it every time.
It was
every time.
I love her. I'm delighted in her when I got that role in 1999. So I just love her.
But also, too, I think we have to be passionate about this because what most people don't realize is there are more downs in this business than there are ups. I always say it's like a slow suicide. And the one doctor asked me, so you don't get a paycheck every week, so how do you live? I said, listen. He said, don't you get depressed? I said, listen, being depressed comes every now and then in our business. You're depressed in the beginning because you're worrying how you're going to get to the first rung. Then you get to the middle, like where I am, and then you say, okay, how am I going to get up further up? And then when you get to the top as a superstar, you get depressed even there because you're trying to figure out how your ass going to stay there.
How you going to stay there?
So it's just part. My thing is, it's okay to get depressed some of the time. The trouble is, if you are in this business and you are depressed 24/7, get the hell out.
Get out. Get out.
Get out.
If you can't turn it off, before you cross that threshold, that stage, because they deserve better.
They do.
And we've been sick. We've been, depressed. We've been breaking up relationships, divorcing husbands. And I was telling somebody else, I said, the sacrifice in this business. The sacrifice.
I gave up having kids.
Ooh.
And that's something I gave up having kids because of my body, and I didn't want this to happen, and I didn't want that to happen. You do make sacrifices.
I got 2 divorces because of it. This business has eaten up 2 divorces for me. My ex-husband said to me, he said, you don't know how it feels to be left because you're always leaving.
But he knew that when he met you, didn't he?
He met me. Yeah, he met me in a nightclub in Detroit.
And you know, believe it or not, I talk about this in my latest show, in my newest show. I was proposed to twice. And by 2 men that I loved. Both these times, Roz, they met me on the stage. I was singing. And after they proposed, and I said, yes, the next thing out of their mouth was, you're going to have to give up that career.
Listen.
I said, so when is your plane leaving to take you home?
Girl, my last boyfriend told me, he said, I thought after we've been together for a while, you would slow down. I said, well, baby, you really shouldn't think. Thinking is not your thing. And bye. Thinking ain't your thing, sugar. Don't do that to yourself.
Thinking ain't your thing.
Thinking ain't your thing. Don't do that to yourself. Because it ain't happening. You just bought your ticket. Bye. It's not going to happen.
You know, I was in L.A., Roz.
Yeah, I know.
Met this guy. And so he asked me out on a date, right? I'm going back several years. So we go out on a date. Somebody comes up to the table, asked me if I was Vivian Reed. So I said, yeah. He said, could I speak to you for a moment? I said, sure. So I go over to speak to him, and something that he did in the business, I can't remember because that was just way too long ago. He said, can I get your number and talk about something with you? I said, sure. So I took a card out, wrote my number down. When I got back to the table,
boyfriend was
date said, who was that you were giving your number to? Don't do that. Don't do that. I said, what? So I didn't say nothing. Baby, we got to my door. He walked me to my French door. I said, Don't call me again. He said, what? I said, don't call me again.
Okay, my first husband. Not a very wonderful person, bless his heart and Zion, but he's somebody else's problem now. He asked me one day after a fight, and I had to go to the Coconut Grove Playhouse to do a show. And when I left him, I was in tears. I was angry. When I got to the Coconut Grove Playhouse, I sat down in the dressing room, beat my face, put on my drag, got up and went out and did a hell of a show. He happened to come down there because he was hoping that I was down there falling apart.
See?
He literally asked me, how do you do that? I said, do what? He said, we were fighting. You were very upset. You left. And then you come out on stage and you just beaming and joking and playing. I said, baby, listen, when I crossed the threshold to that stage, right. You don't exist.
That's right.
That's my world. You don't have nothing to do with that. You do not exist.
Do you hear what she's saying? Any of you young people who are watching, as I have said to so many people, leave your crap at home.
Leave your crap at home.
The director doesn't care. The choreographer doesn't care. The producers don't care. The musical director doesn't care. They don't care.
And the audience deserves better.
And the audience deserves
they deserve better.
All of you.
All of you.
That means you do a show at the beginning of the week. You got 7 more to do. That means you should be just as fabulous on that 8th show of the week. Your voice may be tired, but you know what? If you up on your skills, you can find a way to still make that audience feel, even though you might not be in the best voice.
The magic.
That's a great story, Roz. That's a great story. Because people don't understand that.
No, they don't. And every time I was watching Tina Turner's movie the other day, now I've never been beaten up, but I've been emotionally beaten.
I know.
And being emotionally beaten is worse than the bruises, I'm telling you, because that's harder to get over. So what you have to do is music is my life. It's not something I do. It's what I am. So you have to get over it for the love of your music. And eventually, and I told another person, I said, you leave when you leave, when you've had enough. That's relevant. It's relevant. It doesn't apply to everybody the same time, the same thing, the same way. It means that each person, when they've had enough, they leave when they leave.
Yeah.
But you got to know when to leave. Music has helped me. Music has helped me survive.
And I'll even go further. Even when it comes to your family.
Yes. Well,
they don't give a shit about your family. You cannot be bringing your baby, your grandmama, your mother, and all that to rehearsal.
No.
You can't do it.
No.
You cannot do it, because you keep doing that and you do that one too many times, you will get fired because they don't care about your family.
They don't care about that. It's a distraction too. There's too much necessary concentration that goes into what we do in a room than to have your baby over there yelling or your husband over there looking at you. Y'all stay home. This ain't your place. That's why I said when it comes to that, he didn't exist.
Yes. And I'm the same way. No, that's probably one of the reasons why I never got married, because you're not going to be questioning me. You know, because you know what we do when we finish a show at night. We want to go out, maybe talk, unwind. This is what we do. I mean, and you're going to ask me, okay, now the show was over at, 10:30? Why are you just coming in here at 1 o'clock? What?
No, we don't.
Oh, no. and it's not that I don't love a good man. I love a good man, but I think you have to understand. I definitely think it's harder when the woman is in show business, Roz.
It is.
It's harder. Because there is an understanding that is needed and a trust. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know about you. I have always been a one-man woman. I'm not looking to be going out and doing all kind of crazy stuff with a lot of different men. I'm a one-man woman, but you have to trust me. That after a show is over, I'm hanging with my friends, and then I'm going to come home to you.
You know, trust, period. Just period.
Period.
If I go to the store, if I stay to the store too long, I'll walk around.
That's right.
You got to trust, period. You just trust the relationship. But see, that's the reason I'm not married now. And I probably never will do it again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying never. I'm saying I probably never will do it again. Because now I'm very set in my ways. What I love is my career. It comes first after God. So baby, you have to be third. You have to be third. And that doesn't mean that I can't give you enough for us to be together and you to be happy. But it's easier for the man to be successful than the woman not to be, because when the woman is, the man tends to want to prove either that he doesn't need her or that he can survive without her. And therein lies the infidelities and all the other shit that happens. And I've been through it too many times. So I think,
Roz, you seem very, very happy now.
I'm ecstatic.
Very, very happy. Do you date every now and then?
I'm not dating now. I got a puppy.
See, I'm thinking about getting a puppy too.
I got a puppy.
Wow.
I got a puppy. And when I got the puppy was after the last relationship. And when I realized with this damn demic that I was going to be at home. There he is right there.
I got a puppy. It's cute. What's his name? Her? A female or a male?
Sir Maximilian Ryan.
Wait a minute. Sir Maximilian Ryan?
Yes.
You gave him all that name.
Yes.
So when you call that dog or that puppy, what do you say? Come here, Sir Maximilian. You say all of that?
Max.
Oh, see, I knew that.
Max.
Girl, you know you ought to quit. You had me thinking that you saying that whole long name when you call him Max.
You know what? The groomer says it. The groomer, when he walks in the groomer, she says, "Hi, Sir Maximilian."
Oh, the groomer comes to your house?
No. I take him to the groomer.
Is she good?
She's wonderful. Her name is Cindy, and he loves her, and he don't like a whole lot of people.
This has been so great, sharing these stories and talking to you. And for sure, I mean, we worked together in, I think it was one or two shows, one show.
We did Blues in the Night.
Blues in the Night. And just such a pleasure, but also, too, we just stayed friends.
We stayed friends.
You know, because you are, you know what it is, guys, those of you watching, it's like when you lock into someone who is not insecure, who is on top of their game. Because I'm sure, Roz, you have walked into rooms and some ladies went, okay, because they can't deal, either the strength or something that they can't deal with. But when you find women, strong women who are secure, those are the ones that make really best friends.
They make best friends, yeah, because there's no competition.
Roz, thank you so much, baby.
La vie, I love you.
You know I love you too. Wave to the people now.
Keep listening. Bye. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. You better subscribe.